You ever feel like everything around you is just chaos? Like the chaos is coming to get you, almost like you're stuck in the center of a massive storm? I think a lot of us feel like that. And the truth is, the world is chaos. We need a place of calm so that we can function. If we can't get to calm, it's really hard for us to be able to have clarity of what to do next, or to even be able to focus on getting anything done, because we're just spinning. And when we're spinning or frustrated and we're not feeling calm, it hurts. It's almost painful. So how do we get to a place of calm? Well, first we recognize that we're the result of our habits. We're the result of the things that we do every day. And there are habits that we can put in place that let us hack the system a little bit, that change our brain chemistry. I like to think of those foundational habits as tent poles. You think of yourself being out in the middle of the desert and the sun's beating down. Maybe it's 110, 120 degrees. You've been traveling for a while and you're just exhausted. You put some tent poles in the ground, you throw a cloth over it, you sit down inside, take a sip of water. How good does that feel? Oh man, that is relief. We want your life to consistently feel that good, to be at that level of calm so that you can move forward in peace. These tent poles, the habits, the foundational things that you do, they fall into three categories that address your mental, physical, and emotional health. They are gratitude, growth, and exercise. I'm going to challenge you to implement each of those three things in your life. It will take you only 15 minutes, and it will have a huge impact in only 3 weeks. 15 minutes a day for 3 weeks, you get all of the win. And then you can continue that and keep the win for as long as you like. Let's talk about each. Gratitude. 2.5 minutes a day. That's all it takes. You write down 3 non-repetitive things that you are grateful for. Now, writing this down is important. It can be physical writing, like with handwriting and a pen, or it can be an app that you type it into. But the key here is that it's physically manifested into the world, not just something that you say or that you think. That doesn't seem to catch our mind the same way. They've also got to be non-repetitive, things that you've never said, I'm grateful for this before. Why? Because the more specific we get, the more that we focus into it, the more that it connects to us, and the more that we find that we are surrounded by things to be grateful for. What happens when you do this is about 2.5 weeks later, your brain chemistry changes and you will be 10, 12 hours into your day and still feeling grateful, even though you hadn't thought about it since those 2.5 minutes early in the morning. That means that you're grateful and living in that space. And if you live in that space, you can't be upset. You can't be frustrated. You can't be anxious because they don't share the same spot. The second habit, very similar. It is growth, and it takes 2.5 minutes. This one is done at night. You write down, non-repetitive, how did you get better? What did you learn? How did you grow today? How did you move forward? We do that as not only a recap of our day in a way that's going to be able to help us, but also we're doing it so that we can wake up the next morning and 2.5 weeks later, our brain chemistry will have changed so that we eagerly look forward to the day. We're eagerly looking for, how do I get better? What do I do? Where do I go? The third tentpole habit is exercise. This is 10 minutes a day. Now, you can exercise a lot more than that, but we're not talking about the hours of exercise here. We're talking about the 10 minutes of movement, the thing that gets you past the emotions that have you stuck, the things that get you to a little bit of physical health as well. Do that. Move and be grateful and grow. Combine all three of them. Let them work together like this beautiful concoction, and it will make your life so much better. Now, if you want one additional step, if you want to know, how could I, Dan, take and pour fuel on the fire? How can I get this to go faster and get my personal development just escalating up to the stars? Do that by taking 15 more minutes a day and pouring into you. Read a few pages of a book that'll move you forward, or listen to a podcast that you can learn from, or Talk to someone who inspires you. Do that thing where you're pouring into you, and you will always have something to give to others, and you'll be challenged to keep moving. It'll keep you on the path. As a side note, that half hour now, with that 15 minutes for the first 3 habits and 15 minutes for pouring into you, that half hour is about 2% of your day. So just ask yourself this question: are you worth 2% of you? I know that you are, and I look forward to seeing the results of you having implemented those habits. I'm Dan McPherson, and I look forward to seeing you in the next sprint.